So we're going to talk about abuse. I'm
Okay.
a child of abuse, and I'll tell this story. I'll just kind of begin to lay it out here. But we want to talk about abuse in the family. But the thing about abuse is that it's not a lone ranger. When the enemy, Jesus said that the thief, meaning Satan himself, comes only but to steal, kill, and destroy. So when the enemy plans abuse, he doesn't just stop at abuse. He's got trauma, he's got accidents, he's got fear, he's got disease, he's got misunderstandings, he's got betrayal, he's got generational curses, he's got witchcraft being sent to you. So Paul Cox is a dear friend of mine, explained it this way a long time ago, and I thought I didn't like the way it sounded, but I discovered it to be true. He said the gospel of Jesus Christ is very simple, but the works of Satan is extremely complex. He twists and weaves and twists and meshes and grinds, and things are all intertwined, and your soul gets fragmented. And so to get healed from abuse, there are actually some fairly simple things that I'm going to talk about that today. But if you don't know those things, you will spend the next decade or two in all the kind of warfare that you're currently in. But let me just jump in and tell you a little bit of my story. My earliest memory was of this incident. I don't remember anything before this. I was 4 years old. We were so poor at that time that we lived in a place, Santa Paula, California, with the migrant farm workers in a place that they literally called Plywood City because the houses were just made out of plywood.
Wow.
And we could not afford anything more. Again, I was one of 6 kids. And I was at the neighbor's house, went to our church because they were poor along with us. So we lived in Plywood City with them. She was babysitting me, and I asked for a drink of water. So out of the refrigerator, she took, what she'd always used to use the Purex bleach bottles. After they were done, she put water in them, and she put it in the refrigerator so that she could, because it was cheaper than buying a pitcher. So I'm sure she washed it out. What she didn't realize is that she put the actual bleach in the refrigerator. She poured me a nice tall glass of bleach, which I was neither. We were both clueless about it. And I took the 3 or 4 glugs. I don't really know how much I got down. All I know is I went screaming and hit the screen door full speed ahead, throwing up. And my world was just turned upside down. Instantly, I knew that I had drank something poisonous, but I didn't know until I remember even her screaming because she realized what she had done the moment I did that. And so they turned what their whole treatment was. They grabbed me by my legs and they held me upside down. We were poor, uneducated, living among the migrant farmers. They put me upside down, and I'm throwing up on the dirt. And after it was all over, they gave me a piece of bubble gum, and I'm here today. And I don't know if anyone has checked the side effects of bleach, but the side effect of bleach is death. Look it up, Google it.
Yeah,
that's the side effect. I shouldn't be here. So that the scripture says we overcame him. We overcame the devil by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. And so this is a story that's just sticking it back in the face of the enemy, because he tried to kill me. He tried to make me not speaking, and here I am speaking and very much alive. So that was like the next year and a half. I'm 6 years old. I don't know which months these were on. I'm in first grade, and they made a bus out of the old VW vans, which weren't old in those days. A nice new VW van. They painted it yellow to match the color of a school bus, and that was our church school bus. It was literally a legal bus. We got broadsided by a big old Cadillac or big old car. It just hit this thing, went through the intersection and hit this thing. We started flipping over, and this thing flew in the air. It's like if you see one of those things on a commercial or on a movie where the van's flying slow motion. It was like that. It literally flipped over twice and landed on its roof. And I remember this thing sliding on its roof. The seats are on top of us. The back flies open, and I'm watching a gas station attendant running towards us. He later said, all you kids were in there like popcorn bouncing around when that thing flew.
You didn't have seatbelts on or anything?
Nothing. I mean, there was nothing like that in those days. And I remember thinking, when this gas station man was running towards us, I remember thinking, so this is what it feels like to die. I just thought, so that trauma, and I not even that long ago, that actual hit, the sound that hit became real. And there was actually a little bit more healing that I needed to take place because I had repressed that awful sound of this thing hitting the van. Anyway, we'll go to the hospital. The bus driver had been thrown out. She was in the hospital for weeks. She'd been thrown out of the bus while it was flipping. And I go to the hospital. Later the same day, I kid you not, I'm sitting back at my desk at school in first grade, back at school, and without an injury. I mean, and that's just like in your face, Satan, you know, look what he tried to do. Like, and so he has continued to try to do this.